to our Red Tara Practice Contemplation group. We're currently contemplating the first of the 4 immeasurable qualities, equanimity. The third and most profound way of developing equanimity is to recognize that the true nature of each and every being is a state of absolute purity. Ideas of self and other, good and bad, what we like and don't like, these are all concepts of the ordinary mind. They arise from the dualistic process of differentiating, judging, labeling, fixing on labels, and investing artificial distinctions with truth. This statement, this one simple sentence, if we really, really contemplate this sentence, it'll rearrange our entire belief system, our clinging to opinions, our clinging to politics, our clinging to what we think is right and wrong, our clinging to any kind of a mental posture or attitude. And this is really challenging because we feel the need to fix the unfixable. I was having a discussion the other day with a Dharma brother, and the discussion led into politics. And we were talking about electric cars and sourcing the lithium and the copper and the mining and then creating enough electricity and how that would, you'd need more dams or nuclear energy. And basically we got to the point that I said, you know, this is samsara. There's always going to be a cost. Nothing here you're going to extract that's not going to have some kind of a cost somewhere. That's not going to take the equal and opposite energy out of another area. And my friend said, well, that's a weak argument when you just say that it's samsara. It's when you have no more arguments. And I said, well, do you think that the Buddha ran out of arguments? The fact is, this is samsara. There's making it a little better, there's making it a little worse, but there's really no fixing samsara. So when we cling to our concepts and views and ideas, it's okay that we're trying to make things better, trying to not make things worse. But when we cling to it, that's a problem. Because when we cling to it, if anybody has a different idea or a different opinion, then we get angry. Because we're right and they're wrong. And then it creates a division, and then it creates an escalating tension and magnifies and intensifies the duality of samsara. So we have our ideas. We're always going to have our ideas. But the point is not to cling to them. Have your idea, but hold it loosely. Not like this. Like this. So there's space to think and talk and dialogue without getting upset, without having bad feelings towards the other, without becoming intolerant or fanatical, or a very popular word in this day and age, fascist. Don't become a fascist fighting fascism. Otherwise, you've become part of the problem. Fascism means you try to control other people's thinking and speaking. You try to control other people's ideas. Anything that is opposed to your ideas, you try to suppress it. But if you feel like you're fighting people to do that by oppressing their ideas and their speech, then you've become a fascist. And that's sort of a slippery slope society's on. And the reason why is because people cling too ferociously to their views, and they can't tolerate any dissension. The problem is not the ideas. The problem's the clinging and the intolerance. Our ordinary mind is impermanent. It is not the same as it was when we were 6 months old. Even now, it continuously changes. If somebody praises us, we feel pleased and confident. If somebody insults us, we become angry. That anger branches out like tributaries of a river, and we relive memories, rehearse our anger, and react by creating more harm. The initial stimulus and its many tentacles of impulse, action, and reaction in the mind are all impermanent. The true nature of mind is the continuity beneath this never-ending flux, like the white space on a page. The concepts and emotions that arise in the mind are like the words. We experience and identify with our thoughts and feelings, but there is a ground, an openness from which they arise and to which they return. That openness is the nature of mind. The nature of mind cannot be found or proven to exist in a literal sense, as if it were a material object. So we cannot say that it exists, nor can we say that because we cannot find it, it does not exist. Thoughts that it both exists and does not exist, or neither exists nor does not exist, are only concepts. They cannot catch what lies beyond concept. So it's like trying to catch water with a net. The conceptual mind can't grasp the nature of mind. It's important to study and understand it intellectually, but at the same time, recognize that we don't get there through concepts. You can't experience the nature of mind through concepts. The nature of mind is a meditative experience beyond concepts. The more that we identify with our Buddha nature, with our nature of mind, essence, the lighter we become our concepts and emotions. We won't think our way to Buddhahood. We won't emote our way to Buddhahood. But at the same time, we don't have to fight thoughts and emotions. We observe thoughts and emotions from the place of the nature of our mind. Thoughts and emotions continue to arise, but we're not carried away by them. Do you see the difference? But to not be carried away by them, we need a safe place to stand. And that place to stand is in our true essential nature, the nature of our mind. It doesn't mean, again, that we live in a thoughtless, emotionless state. It just means when the thoughts and emotions arise, we're not carried away by them. We don't identify with them. That gives us the space and the freedom and the looseness to not cling. And ultimately, when we understand the nature of thoughts and the nature of emotions, there's nothing to cling to. What's a thought? What's an emotion? Does it have weight? Does it have a shape? Does it have a color? Does it have a form? Where did it come from? Where does it reside? And where does it go? When we do that contemplation, it's very important to do that mind training, to analyze thoughts and to analyze emotions. That way, when they arise, we've already done the work to realize this is something insubstantial. This is something that we can't really locate. This is something that appears but has an illusory nature. And by doing that, it's not a matter of detaching from something that exists. It's a matter of just recognizing that there's nothing to cling to or to fear. And on an even deeper level, there's no one to cling or no one to fear. The Heart Sutra, Prajnaparamita, the mantra, Gate Gate, Paragate, Parasamgate, Bodhisvaha. Gate Gate, the nature of phenomenon is beyond existing or non-existing, the first two extremes. Paragate, the nature of all phenomenon is beyond neither existing, is beyond existing and non-existing at the same time. Parasamgati, the nature of phenomenon is beyond neither existing, neither not existing at the same time. The four extremes. Existence, non-existence, both existing and non-existing, neither existing nor non-existing. And that intellectual approach can go to 8 extremes, can go to 16 extremes, 32 extremes, etc., infinity. So the mantra of the Prajnaparamita, the Heart Sutra, is saying the nature of all phenomena is beyond any intellectual approach or concept. That's called the mother of wisdom, the mother of all Buddhas. From this understanding, all Buddhas are born. The mother of all Buddhas is incorporated as Tara. Tara is the Prajnaparamita, the mother of all the victorious ones. So as we do the Tara practice, we're emerging our mind with the mind that's beyond concepts, the mother of all Buddhas. That's the idea.